Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Ryan Newpel here, Knup Sports Show, episode 164. Thank you so much for joining in today. Got another special guest. I think this is going to be a fun one. Really looking forward to where this conversation leads today with our special guest. But first of all, hope you guys are all doing well, enjoying whatever may be coming your way in the world of sports. Everything this weekend, F1. I cannot wait for Formula One this weekend in Miami. Going to head down there, check it out. I'll also be at iGaming next weekend in New York City. If anybody watching this is going to be at that show, please hit me up. We'll make sure to connect, say hello at that event. All right, I had to get all that out of the way. Now I'm going to bring on my special guest here today. I got David Woodley of Playmaker. David, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, really appreciate you giving me some time, and I'm excited to hear a little bit more about Playmaker. I know if anybody in sports hasn't heard of Playmaker, they're kind of crazy, but I'm excited to kind of bring a little more attention to it. And first of all, hear a little bit more about yourself. So give us a little background of you and kind of what led you to Playmaker.
Yeah, so I've grown up a diehard sports fan whole life. Sort of lived all across the country until New York was my home for the last 15 years. Big Minnesota fan. I know what being a fan and getting very little reward is all about. But if you meet these lifelong Minnesota fans, they're at least in it for the long haul. Been in media for a while, been in sports media for a while, a couple startups, here and there. A couple of past sports media companies I worked for was a high school sports site called iHigh, and then another company called Fantasy Sports Ventures, which got sold to USA Today. Also been in video media as well, Maker Studios, Blip TV, The Onion, Gawker for a minute, and then Watch Mojo. So I found myself at Playmaker a little over a year ago, originally as a seed investor in them about a year and a half ago. And then, a few months later, just as I got to know them better and better, jumped on over and became president and CRO.
That's cool. That's awesome. So that's quite you've had a career in media. That's pretty awesome. And now you're with a, Playmaker who's getting lots of viewership and mostly, I'm assuming, from younger generations who are up and coming sports fans. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but give kind of the 1,000-foot view of Playmaker and what you guys' mission is, kind of what you guys are up to.
Yeah, I mean, at its core, it's a it's a huge Gen Z focused sports media company. We're kind of anywhere where anyone between the ages of like 18 and 34, but more with an emphasis of 18 to 29. Anywhere they're viewing content. So, like Instagram, we have a few different, pages on there, about 13 million followers, a couple million on TikTok, and that's growing insanely every day, just like TikTok is. And then sort of our, I think most impressive piece is, we're one of Snap's biggest partners. We're in their partner program called Snap Discover, with over 24 live series on it. So, a whole big chunk of this company is just creating episodes every week, every day. I think 3 or 4 episodes every day for the Snap platform, and then we're on the older platforms as well, like ones that you and I probably grew up with, like Facebook and Twitter. And then on top of that, we have a talent division. We represent about 25 ex NBA / current NFL players. Tracy McGrady, Carlos Boozer, Nate Robinson, probably the best well known, and then some of the NFL guys, Xavier Howard. Probably, who's actually the best cornerback in the league. Like, nobody really knows that because he doesn't sort of talk the trash of like a lot of other cornerbacks in all that. And, we've done stuff in the past with Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, different series and deals with them. And then we have an NIL side of things as well with about 25 current college players. We do events, and then we also have a pretty robust merch business as well. But, the media is sort of where we have our audience, and it's where we make our money. And then, cover all the sports that Gen Z likes, a lot of hoops, a lot of football, a lot of MMA, a little bit of baseball here and there. And then we launched our betting division, which is, I'm sure, what we'll be talking about here mostly, about 8 months ago. So,
yeah, that's cool, man. That's just so many directions I want to go from just that small intro there. But first of all, congrats to Playmaker for all the success and being in the content space and always driving traffic to different things. I understand how difficult things can be to get that attention, right? And I think one thing that you guys do a good job of is grabbing that attention. And I want to kind of go back to one of your, or just some of the platforms that you're using, I guess, because I guess some of the older people in this industry, including myself, right? I mean, may not be real familiar with the impact a TikTok might have or the impact that a Snapchat might have or something like that. And you guys are seeing insane numbers on some of those channels, aren't you? And so the attention, especially from Gen Z and some of these other generations, that's where the attention is. It's not on these blogs. It's not on these, long form articles. It's on like these short clips and these this kind of stuff. Speak to a little bit about like those new channels that are out there, and they're not so new anymore, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, there's this sort of misconception that like Gen Z and millennials, they have like no attention span. And they say that because like, oh, they're watching like 3-minute videos or 60-second videos. They're not watching TV anymore, which is kind of true. They're still watching sports on TV and all that, but it's just a more discerning generation, more tech savvy, right? I mean, you're talking about a generation that, grew up with these, in their hands, from when they're born. And, we remember back to like when there's flip phones and, everything else. And like, I don't think I had a cell phone until I was in high school.
Yeah.
So it's more tech savvy and there's more choice, now more than ever, as well. So it's not like an attention thing or anything like that. It's like, they just know if something's crap within the first like 1 or 2 seconds. Like Snap is crazy. Like, we have all those shows on Snap, and Snap will tell you too, like if you don't get them in the first 2 seconds, they're gone. You get them in the first 2 seconds, like they'll stick around for 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. In that. So it's like creating content that really like catches someone's eyes, but it can't be clickbaity because then people will drop off as well. It's getting someone's attention like that and keeping it there and like keeping them within the platform. Like, okay, you got them for one video. How do you get them for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos? And, TikTok, I mean, your average TikTok video is what, like 15, 20 seconds. And,
Right.
if you actually look at the average time spent on a platform, TikTok has the highest now. It used to be Facebook because Facebook would, I don't know, people would get their news there. They would go down the well of, I don't know, looking up old friends and groups
Sure.
and all that. Yeah, TikTok again, they're keeping, I think, I don't know exactly what the number was, but I think it was over like 80 minutes. Every user on there, 80 minutes a day, which just like absolutely, it's a lot of time. That's a lot of videos that is engaging them. And for us, like our secret sauce is we hire a lot of the people creating our content. It's a bunch of 18 to 24-year-olds for the most part that are insanely up to date on all the trends. It's a diverse team that mimics what 2022 America looks like, and we're not trying to do too much. Like we know the sports our audience wants, and we're not trying to be everything to everyone. But if we can be a very good component to someone's viewing habits of 25 million, 50 million plus Gen Z sports fanatics, like we'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to, you kind of hit my next question, but I was going to ask about your creators so I'm assuming you are just tapping into those passionate sports fans who have a little bit of a personality, right? And you got to bring them in. They know what they're talking about. They want to be like they're intriguing enough to be watched. Tell us a little bit about the team, I guess, behind the scenes that is just putting on all this content across these channels.
Yeah, I mean, it is a team. That's the best way to put it. I mean, we have on camera folks. We have like social media, just curators, right? That are just like putting together, memes and videos that it's not necessarily us on screen, but it's just like hitting the trends, right? And it's like we're often trendsetters and a lot of this stuff, which is fun, but it's also like we're getting a ton of engagement and
Yeah.
followers and all that as well. And then we have like a whole creator unit as well. So that social team is massive. I mean, what's fun is like everybody in the company sort of gets involved. I mean, it's so much of our business is done via these like insane group chats.
Yep.
And, there's like 12 or 13 people on the social chain where it's just everyone's like throwing out stuff left or right. And then, the 2, 3 people that are sort of running it minute by minute are sort of picking, what goes up and all that in real time. And it goes to the creators and all that, or the creative people and all that.
Yeah.
And then we have a creator unit too, which is on camera, right? We have a studio in Florida that we have them on. We send them around we just send them around the. We had one of our creators pretend to be an NFL draftee. He's former D1 basketball player, but he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
And basically the pitch was like he's going to be the tallest running back ever drafted. And people believed it. We had like a fake agent with them. We did a bunch of fun stuff on the street. We had like a vodka sponsor with us as well. We had like a professional podcast with them. And that's fun. And then we had the rest of our creator unit down in Houston at Tracy McGrady, who's we partner with his one-on-one thing. We represent him. He's an investor, and he started his one-on-one basketball tournament this week, and actually one of our creators actually played in the tournament.
Cool.
The others were like creating content down there, and all that as well. Like we send them out to these sporting events with our sportsbook partners. And again, like, yeah, it's young.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's people on top of these trends, and it's diverse. Like we're not, we're trying to hit pretty much anyone that is a sports fan in 2022 under the age of like 35.
Sure. And when was this started? Like, how long has Playmaker been around? Oh, I may have lost you, David.
There we are.
Oh, there we are. We're back.
I don't know if you have to edit that out. Blame it on the Wi-Fi. No, it's been around 3.5 years, but really the first couple of years is more focused around like selling merch, which the company was good at. But then there's a bit of a pivot, like the social handles and everything were growing so quick, and then people took notice, and Snap brought them on for their first couple shows, and that's sort of when I sort of they came on my radar a bit through a friend, and I was like, hey, there's something cool here, and really over the last year and a half, switch focus, brought the talent side on, really focused on the media side, started the betting division and all that. So I think it's sort of a tale of two companies where the last year and a half has just been on like this sort of rocket ship, which has been really, really fun to be a part of.
Well, and that's kind of where I was heading with that question. Is I was curious, you guys just launched the betting division, and I feel like the emergence of sports betting in the United States has really put has really brought sports interest to another level, especially here in the U.S. around some of these, different sports. So have you guys seen, since betting is becoming legal places, have you guys seen kind of an uptick in interest? And do you think it's kind of directly related to the fact that is getting so much attention?
I mean, we've always had the interest. I'm sure there's like a little bit more going up in terms of like more casual sort of viewers and all that. But I mean, but we launched, but this is also why really quick, we're going to like launch this betting side of things as well. Cause like, we don't want to inundate the audience on these other channels with like too much betting content. Right. Cause it's like, not everyone wants to hear it all the time. And, I'm a sports bettor. I don't want to hear it all the time either. It's actually nice to just enjoy a game and like not worry about it and like actually root for a team, like root for the Timberwolves, root for the Wild, like whoever, and not have to be like, oh, the only thing that matters here is like they got to cover the spread. And there's still that viewing experience, but so that's why we did the sports betting side of things, and it took off. Like we're at over 500,000 followers across, most on Instagram, some on Twitter, low on TikTok. More will come on TikTok, but they don't really allow you to do much there yet. And no, we found this like incredible demand for it early on. Like people want to find that content, and I think fortunate, we sort of took the path of, okay, like we have three pillars, like it's gonna be entertaining, informative entertaining, so infotainment, education, and storytelling. And for us, we're like, we're not going to pretend to be the smartest people in the room. We're not going to do these 30-minute long shows of who you should pick, because like the dirty secret that like everyone knows but pretends not to know is like it's to be a professional bettor, it's not sexy. Like they're not on TV, like the pro bettors. I mean, it's like they look like they're stock traders. They have like 8 screens. They have like their helpers. They're trying to open up accounts with bookies and whatever. I mean, it's good, and they're awesome. I know them, and they're good people, but like they're not the ones like on screen like telling you who to pick, because it's not how it works. Arbitraging, steam chasing, like all this stuff that's not fun. To do it. So we're going to focus on, the fun parts of it, and we're going to educate, right? Like we're going to, be truthful. Like this is not a way to like necessarily make money. Like you can maybe get lucky and make money in the short term. Like you can use these tools that will maybe make your bankroll last longer and give you a better chance at it. But you really should view betting as like a value add to the sports viewing experience. Like whether that's watching a game that you really don't have any interest in, like throwing 5, 10, 100,000, doesn't even matter. Bet side just doesn't really matter when you're a viewer. Throwing some on it, make it more interesting, right? Like have one more thing to like debate with your friends on and argue with them about. And, like, are you the best bettor of your crew? And like, it's funny. Like if you're in a group chat, like no one ever misses the 18 parlay, but everyone hits it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the fun stuff, right? It is fun when you hit that stuff and you make, you sort of win one over your friends at that point. And there's entertaining content around it. We try to like do well in that community to be like, hey, like, everyone that bet the Lakers last night at -3, like, here's what you look like. Down 42 at halftime, or LeBron just took himself out.
Yeah.
and all that. And we're working with content creators on it, right? Like all different sort of levels of bettors. Like we have guys that are truly beginners and they're just talking through some stuff. We're working with some of our athletes. They're giving their analysis on the games and stuff, not making picks, but
Yeah.
giving analysis there. And then we're partnering up with the guys like Marco Parlay, who's
Yep.
50K parlays to win like 1.5 million back, or $500,000 in a game. And but again, everyone's sort of in it where they like the lifestyle of it, they like the value of it, and it's not about trying to tell people who to pick. It's not about telling people you're going to make money on this. And I think we're doing it different. I think
Yeah.
the market's spoken, frankly.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that angle you're taking on the betting side. Hey, let's. I'd be remiss if I didn't jump in a little bit to the business side of things. I know looking at LinkedIn, everything. You're the chief revenue officer, so you obviously have your mind and you're wrapped around the business side a little bit of what's going on at Playmaker. So, tell me a little bit about what you can tell me about the revenue model and maybe some other potential channels of revenue you guys are looking to dive into in the future. I mean, obviously you have merch going on, obviously you have ads that's going around, content and things of that nature, but are there other areas? Are we going to see a Playmaker sports book sometime? Are we going to see something Barstool-esque where it's like now we're an operator? I mean, do you guys have dreams that big, or what kind of can you talk to around driving revenue for the business?
Yeah, I mean, so where it's at now, I mean, we make we're fortunate enough to be like one of Snap's like top partners across the
Yeah,
board. I mean, they love us, we love them. It's great. And we're on the platform, and the more views something gets, the more money it makes, and we're fortunate enough that it's a good amount of money. And then yeah, we have merch which moves business. We do marketing deals for our talent. Anything from signings to endorsements to fly
sure,
across the country and participate in a one-on-one basketball tournament, or in Nate
sure.
Robinson's case, it was go and be in a boxing match. What could go wrong?
Yeah,
Other than make a lot of money, and that, we work with a lot of the sports books directly on
yeah,
sponsorship deals. A lot of the big ones already, and more coming on board. We're getting our affiliate side potentially off the ground, but that's more like on the ground type stuff, not your
sure.
traditional send someone to a website. It's more some pretty cool stuff there that we'll sort of be unveiling, and then we're doing events. But anyways, like, yeah, no, in the future, we're not. We've had people approach us to open a sports book. I think that's a tough business.
Mm,
I give people credit for that operate them, but it's a tough business, and there's a lot of ones out there, and I think there's a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say they're all like doing a great job. There's a lot of ones doing a really good job, and it's like to compete with that is tough, right? And like we're
yeah,
also, we make money. Like we've raised a little bit of money, but like we don't need to go become like a $30 billion company sportsbook operator for a casino to make it make sense for us. But yeah, I mean, on the Barstool front, I mean, it's interesting. We have been approached by some folks that are like, because Barstool is backed by Penn, and like there has been some chatter there, very early because we're still relatively new. But
sure.
could there be one of these brands? It's like, maybe our brand doesn't mean much in every single market. Maybe the Playmaker brand means more. Maybe we have like two front doors for people to get in, and like there could be a Playmaker bet where it's just geared specifically to like the 21 to 29 audience, and then maybe we like graduate them to the luxury brand down the road if they're whales or et cetera. We can do events with them and all that. I think that's really interesting for us. I think as we continue to evolve, events are gonna make more money for us. We're already starting those now, and then we are making some decent money in the NFT space just by
Yeah,
facilitating deals and working with our athletes in the NFT brands, like knowing the NFT brands, like bringing the other athletes and stuff. Like there's a really big one being announced here in about a week or so,
cool.
and that's interesting as well. And like we're not going to ever say we're an NFT company or Web3 company. I think when there's I don't know, this may be controversial, but you see a lot of it. Like you see a lot of these people on LinkedIn that were doing something completely different and maybe
Yeah,
not doing something, and then they're all of a sudden they're like Web3 or NFT experts, and it's like it's kind of hard to be an expert in that when it's like such a nascent
yeah,
field. But we'll continue to do it. We'll continue to ride it, but we're not going to put all our eggs in that basket because at the end of the day, like nobody knows, right? Like no, like it's not anything where everyone's just saying like it's a great way to get rich. Like yeah, like it's probably too late at that point. It's
yeah,
like betting. Like you're not going to get rich on it, but there is this angle in there where if there are like NFTs and there are like real world sort of attachments to it and real world sort of rewards and
yeah,
experiences, we'll continue to grow that as well, but sort of at a smart pace. And again, like I like president slash chief revenue officer. I like money, and we'll continue to explore it there. But for us, it's sticking to our core, which is a media company for Gen Z. Doing some cool things in talent, like pushing the sports betting stuff pretty heavy, and then figuring out where everything else sort of lands. That makes sense for us.
Man, David, that was a above and beyond answer. I really appreciate you going into so much detail there.
Yeah.
And as you started going through all these different avenues, it really opens your eyes to just how much opportunity there is out there. But then also, like you said near the end, you also got to stick to what's your core, what you're good at, right? You also got to make sure you don't go too wide, and then you end up being kind of what do they say? Not great at anything, or good at a lot, but not great at anything.
Yeah.
So there's famous sayings in that space. But yeah, the NFT space is really booming as well. But again, who knows where that's going to lead? I really follow that space, and I'm a part of a number of different platforms and applications that have like real life experiences and things like that. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's neat. Where is it going to lead? Is it going to all go away someday? Who knows? I don't know.
And there's a lot of people doing it really well.
In that space.
No, and it's like, listen, I think, I think we're capable of a lot of things. And like, yeah, if we shifted every single resource to do it, I think we could like make a decent little company out of it. But at the same time, like there are people way smarter and like true experts in that field that are doing a good job there. So we're like, why don't we just find our sort of place in it, in the ecosphere, and do it? I mean, it's not that different than betting either. I mean, we could sit there and be like, we're the greatest betting company ever. Like, oh my God, we have, this, that, and the other, and we're going to be our own sports book because our audience is the best. But like, we're not. Like, we know there's folks out there that are really good on it. So it's just like, let's just continue to find, our space in the markets and like play really nice with everybody. And that's sort of the fun part of the NFT world. We can like deal with everybody. We can deal with the athletes. We can deal with the NFT companies. We can deal with multiple NFT companies. We can deal with multiple of the real world, the real life experience ones. And and just help bring people to it and help curate it too. Because there's a lot of, there's a lot of bad actors out there in that space. Like, we were talking about earlier, like at NFT got banned, at NBA memes got banned. And, it's like the Mark Cuban company. And it's like, I'm not sitting there saying he was doing it or knew what was going on, but that's a terrible look. And that's for us too. It's like, we've turned down like some of these similar ones where it's like, oh, here's some money and like, don't worry about it. And it's like, yeah, we're not going to like just build up all this brand equity with our audience and then just screw them because of
take a quick money grab for who knows what, right? You want to make sure you're doing the right thing and it has application behind it and all the above. So I totally understand and respect that as well.
And it's the betting thing too. I mean, it's like some of the, people come to you and they try to get you to promote something crazy. And we're like, well, we won't do that, and, maybe, the conversation ends there sometimes. But then it's like, how about we do something like this that, we can incorporate that. But, maybe we don't want to push everyone to only do single game parlays. Maybe we don't want to like only push these like crazy parlay slips because I think it just sends the wrong message out there that you can make millions. And, it's the old adage, like they didn't build the casinos in Las Vegas, like on winners, and stuff like that. And like, again, we're very fortunate enough to be in a good business and make money and all that, where we don't have to even be tempted by sort of shortcuts and things like that.
Sure. That's awesome. Well, David, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're busy. You got to go figure out how to make money for the company and all of the above. Hey, one thing I wanted you to expand on before I let you go here. You mentioned events a couple of times. What kind of things can you talk about that you're doing? Do you guys are hosting events?
We're actually going to be building our own out that we sort of own. But in the meantime, we've been sort of, again, it's like finding like sort of a sweet spot in there. We've been working with, sort of these up and coming leagues and events like BYB, Backyard Brawls, which is like bare knuckle boxing. We've been doing stuff with them now for several months for a couple of their events where we're helping like bring awareness to them. We're helping bringing people into the event. We're creating content for them. Cool. We're at the event sort of doing content and then, streaming it and everything for them too. And then the Tracy McGrady Basketball League, OBL, it's 1-on-1, like, and again, like a couple of our guys are playing in it, but we're out there creating content, bringing awareness to it, all of that. And then, we're taking some of that stuff and we're going to be doing our own events, with some retired athletes, some influencers, stuff like that. But, events, it just takes a minute to get it all logistically figured out. You get the sponsors on board, all of that. So, that's something where we just hired, a team to sort of manage that. So we'll have some of that. Realistically, towards the end of Q3, Q4, we'll have a few of those out that are sort of us. But we're not trying to start our own league or basketball league or anything like that. It's going to be sort of like a series of like one-off events and stuff like that.
I love it. I love it. Awesome, David. Well, I really appreciate your time here today. Anything we missed? Any last words? Anything you want to say before I let you go here?
No, it was good. It was fun. I rambled on a bit, I'm sure, but it was exciting. Good questions, and then yeah, it'll be cool to sync up. Next week when you're in town at the conference, it should be a good time.
Yeah, let's make sure we get coffee, beer, whatever sounds good at the time. Grab lunch, something like that. Let's definitely say hello in person. That's what it's all about, man. Connecting and staying close to people in this business that can help each other and network with each other throughout it. So hopefully, people listening here, if they want to get a hold of you, obviously they can go out, check out the website, but name some links. Start link dropping. How do they get a hold of you? How do they check out Playmaker and what's going on everywhere?
Yeah, so I'm David at playmakerhq.com, or you can just I'm sure to tag me on LinkedIn. Just hit me up on that. Won't give out the number yet. But yeah, it's best to go where our content is. So Instagram at Playmaker at Sports, which is a great one. At Playmaker Hoops, at Playmaker Betting. Twitter.com/Playmaker /Playmaker Bet. TikTok at Playmaker Hoops. And then Snap, a couple of the shows to look for us on is This Day in Sports, Lovin' Sports, Got Beef, and Playmaker. So those are like a few of the many.
Yeah, we'll add those to the show notes. We'll try to get them all in there. Make sure. Snap's something I need to go check out personally. I haven't been on that for quite a while. I was on it for a while in the beginning and then kind of lost track of it. But I need to get out there and follow you guys on that.
Yeah, I'll send you those. And each one is under its own channel, basically.
Cool.
Each show is its own show, and it's worth checking out. They're doing some cool stuff. Like they introduced a selfie drone a few days ago that sounds ridiculous, but then you're like, actually that would be really cool if I was actually creating content myself and people wanted to. Yeah.
You don't get to do the fun content anymore. You have to do the business stuff, right?
Yeah. It's good. It pays the bills at least. So yeah.
There you go. Well, cool. Well, David, I appreciate your time. Let's connect when I'm up in New York. And if you ever need anything, you know how to get hold of me.
Yep. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining me.
Yep. Take care.
All right, that was David Woodley of Playmaker. Man, lots going on with those guys. I'm super excited to have got to hear from David. He shared a lot about what's going on with the company. And I think if you go check out their social channels, I was checking out their Instagram and their TikTok and some of that before this meeting. Holy cow, they're doing some really cool content out there and just fun stuff. So I think you'll enjoy following that. I'll put all the links out in the show notes so you don't have to remember them. But clearly one of the good companies in this industry, really making some noise and doing some fun stuff. So thank you all for tuning in, watching, listening. I'm Ryan Newpol at Noob, however you want to find me out there on whatever channel. Shoot me a message if you're going to be down at Formula One in Miami. Shoot me a message if you're going to be up at iGaming Next in New York. I would love to connect with any of you, sit down, chat, see what you're up to. All right, until next time, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.